Hello and welcome to a new vlog and video of the GoPro, and today we are traveling for our last time on the Excellence Princess. We are going from Vienna to Linz and Passau. We left Vienna yesterday in the evening, so we are waking up shortly before Linz, where we will be arriving around lunchtime, and then we are continuing on in the evening to Passau, where this cruise will end. So we are starting in front of a lock. After breakfast I went straight to the sun deck, enjoying the nice weather. Here we have one of the uncountable ships of Viking, and then it was time for us to head into the lock. Of course, going up now as we are sailing upstream back to Passau in the end. The crane of the lock was also in use, also quite a rare sight, and here you can see we are going up. And after the lock it was just a short moment until we reached Linz. Linz has a huge industrial area, the company voestalpine, and when you're sailing upstream heading to Linz, first thing you will see is this industrial area, and if you think that this is interesting, I would highly recommend going onto the sun deck to enjoy the view, as this is an amazing huge industrial area, quite interesting if you're into that. You also have a few low bridges which I enjoyed sailing under them from my sun lounger. Of course, it was quite safe as the crew was very careful, closing the sun deck rather early if there's a low bridge coming up. But lying down on the sun lounger, of course, there was no danger at all, as these bridges are not that low. Here in the background we can see the Purstling Mountain. You can reach this mountain by tram. It's a quite good recommendation to visit the Purstling Mountain if you have time. There are also multiple videos about that mountain on my channel if you're interested. And after passing the voestalpine you will see a lot of wall paintings, a lot of art on these industrial buildings, so stay on the sun deck even after the industrial area to watch this art. And then you will sail past the shipyard and the winter harbor, where you can see a lot of interesting river cruise ships. For example, here we have the Prima Donna, which is a catamaran, a very interesting ship I was on multiple years ago, many years ago, but quite an interesting ship. Here we can see another Viking ship in the dry dock, and then there are also a few more interesting ships. For example, the Princess de Provence, very beautiful old river cruise ship. There is a ship tour, but only in German, about this ship. And next to it was the Riverside Mozart, a ship that I showed to you just a few months ago. I was traveling on that ship in December last year. You can see it again in a second. Here we can see the church on the Purstling Mountain again, and here we can see some much older river cruise ships which are not in use anymore at the moment. And here we can see the Princess de Provence and the Riverside Mozart, one of the most luxurious river cruise ships. In the background, Princess de Provence was not in service, the Riverside Mozart was just preparing for the start of their season. A very interesting ship. If you don't know about the ship, make sure to watch my videos. You will see how amazing this ship is. Then we have to pass another few bridges, rather low bridges but not too low, so we can stay on the sun deck, and then we are reaching the city center of Linz. We're docking at the best docking location available, right next to the main square, so just like 5 minutes of walking and you're in the middle of the city. That was quite convenient. As you can see, there are multiple other ships in port as well. Here we have some ships for short cruises of just a few hours, like the Barefoot Boat by a famous German actor. And here we can see a river cruise ship of Ama Waterways, also docked in second row, but we will go one dock further. Next to the Thomas Hardy we will be also in the second row. Thomas Hardy is a ship of Skilla, sailing for Riviera travel with mainly British guests. So you can see we're now in second row, and before leaving the ship it was time for lunch with a nice salad from the buffet. Also the soup was from the buffet. I forgot to film my main course as it was very tasty and I just was maybe a bit hungry, so I forgot to film it. Then I had a nice dessert, and then it was time to head into the city center through the Thomas Hardy. You can see typical interior of a Skilla ship. And from here it's just 5 minutes to walk to the main square. You just have to go up to the bridge and then to the left, and then you're at the main square, the Hauptplatz, which is the main tourist attraction of Linz, the main square. Quite a beautiful place. So very easy to reach. Here you can also take the tram up to the Pöstling mountain. I was traveling with the tram through Linz as I've been to the city multiple times. So this will be the topic of the next video, and therefore there's not much more to see from Linz in this video. I was then heading into the gym, and whilst I was there the ship was leaving Linz heading to Passau. Here you can see a bit of the beautiful landscape of the Danube upstream of Linz, and then afterwards it was time for a sundowner, having a nice drink on the sun bank and enjoying the beautiful sunset. This is also what makes a river cruise so beautiful. You have a lot of nice sunsets, and of course always looking better when you're close to water. So the best place to watch a sunset, in my opinion, is from a ship, of course. And then it was time for the last dinner on board, and of course it was amazing again. As I told you multiple times, the food on board the Excellence Princess was just amazing. You can see it is looking very, very nice, and the taste was as good as it looks. And after that, there were a lot of oncoming ships, as most ships are leaving Passau at the same time after embarkation, and then you're going to meet them all more or less about the same time when you're heading to Passau. So here we had the Viva 2 again, so a ship that we already saw in Vienna. Now it's going downstream back in the direction of Vienna. Here we have another ship of Nico Cruises. And after that it was time for a final drink of the day, and it was time to go to sleep, as tomorrow I had to wake up a bit earlier because unfortunately it was already time to leave the Excellence Princess. But not before having another nice breakfast. Then it was time to say goodbye to my nice cabin. And we are now docked at Passau Lindau, which is quite far away from the city center. It's too far to walk, but it's the perfect location for a disembarkation, especially for Excellence. Here you can see the coaches of Excellence bringing most of the guests back to Switzerland. They can come directly to the ship. I was leaving after most guests, and I was also leaving by bus, but just with a regular bus that was bringing me to the main station of Passau. And from the bus I could also enjoy the view, seeing some of the sights of the beautiful city of Passau. So if you're going from the ship to the main station, of course you can take a taxi. There are always taxis available, but it's also possible to take the bus. There are multiple buses per hour. They're going directly to the main station, so you do not have to change. So it's also quite convenient to take the bus. Here we are approaching the main station, and from the main station I was traveling back home by train, and there will also be videos about the train traveling back home in the next few days. But that's it for this video and the series about the Excellence Princess, a wonderful ship on which I had a great time. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link. Here you can also see when my next video will be uploaded and the name of the song, and I hope to see you in my next video again.